Harrowing scenes from eMbali, Pietermaritzburg in KwaZulu-Natal this morning after a family of 10 was shot dead. Police Minister Bheki Cele was in the township shortly after a shootout between police and the alleged suspects. Let's get the latest now from Senior Reporter Dasen Thathiah. Dasen, good afternoon. Welcome to Today this afternoon. Can you give us more details as to what happened there this morning?
Dan, let this sink in before we get into the conversation about what happened here in eMbali in Pietermaritzburg. But in the past 2 days, or I'd say in the last 24 hours between yesterday and today, there have been 20 people that have been murdered between Durban and Pietermaritzburg. And those are only the cases that have been reported to us. Obviously, there could be a lot more. And that's just been in 24 hours. And I think that gives context to the discussion we're going to have about the shooting that took place here in eMbali this morning. That was where those 10 family members were killed. Gunmen came into their house. We're told that those gunmen were posing as police officers, and that's how they had gained entry or access to that property. They said that they were looking for guns, and that's why they were there. And, you know, to add further context to this, last year in November, the head of that household, Mr. Memela, he was shot dead at that property as well. And then now, just a few months later, 10 members of that family have passed away. We're now at the second scene. This is where police located some of the suspects that were linked to that first shooting. They found them at the home of a Sangoma here, and apparently they were being prepared to be cleansed for their deeds, for the crimes that they had committed, and that's where they were confronted by police. So this road is now cordoned off. One suspect was killed here, and the 2 others were arrested, one of those being wounded as well. And this happened within the space of just a few hours after that initial shooting. But there are so many questions about what transpired during the early hours of this morning. We had an opportunity to engage with a family friend of the Memelas. He's quite distraught about losing so many of his loved ones. Let's listen to what Siyabonga Ndebele had to say to us at the first scene.
I was called at night, and then they said something that had happened at home. So someone gets inside and they shot the whole family. Yeah. And I was called by the son that was sleeping on the roundhouse there. They didn't answer there, so they answered in the big house, and then this RTP house, and then they shoot everybody, and then they went down and shoot the granny, the elder of the family. We're not sure who they are, but they said they are police. They're looking for the guns. So they enter, and then the person who opened the gate for them, they started shooting him.
Very harrowing story indeed. The Minister of Police, Bheki Cele, arriving there after that shootout that you've mentioned, where you are now, where one of the suspects was shot dead during that incident. Dasen, tell us more about that shootout between the police and the suspects.
In fact, while we were at the first scene this morning, and I had just began a live crossing there, we heard the gunshots. And just a few minutes before that, some of the police officers that were there then raced off. So to give you an idea of how far that is, it's just about 1.5 kilometers up the road from where I'm standing now. So they raced off. After they had gone, we heard this gunfire, rapid gunfire, many shots that were fired. And a short while later, we were informed that that was the police in pursuit of the suspects. And it happened quite quickly. I mean, as I explained, 1.5 kilometers, they were literally just down the road, within walking distance of where the initial shooting took place. And that's where they were confronted. Now, interestingly enough, the police minister was saying that apart from the crimes that were committed today, the person who was shot dead here was someone that they had been looking for a long time. Because this particular precinct that we're in, the Plesisla precinct, the policing precinct, under which eMbali falls, is quite a notorious area, and it always features in the crime stats in the top 5 at least for the high number of murders, and that is a problem that has plagued this area for a long time. One of the other issues obviously is around resources, because of the extent of the area in which that police station needs to, or rather the extent of the area that that police station needs to look after. And the community also needed a certain degree of reassurance because they've been long complaining about this. Let's listen to what the police minister had to say when he got here just after this second shooting that took place.
10 people here are dead. The youngest will be 13, the oldest will be 63, who happen to be the mother of the house. But it does look like it's a family. Most people that are there are of the same surname. Those that are not of the same surname, they had some form of relationship. So it's a family. Why those people who could come here and wipe everybody off is something that we'll have to find. But as police were attending to this, they received information that there are people who were doing some cleansing down about 1.5 kilometers from here. Well, we have gone and see that scene. In that scene, there were 4 people who were standing outside, and as they saw the police, they exchanged fire with the police. Police shot back, killed one, injured one who is arrested, and one is arrested and injured. One has run away. Fortunately, they know who ran away. So we have seen one of those guys, and they gave us the story that indeed they were doing some cleansing, and they gave us the name of Nyanga, the witch doctor, whom they say comes from Swaziland, and all that. But a person that has died, it looks like he's the guy. His name is Soros. I don't know the real name, but his name Soros. Is linked to too many crime scenes, especially murder around here. We believe that formally and officially police will be linking, but is known to have been really notorious guy around here, Maritzburg, even in Durban, Nanda, and all that.
That's Bheki Cele, the Minister of Police, on the ground in eMbali, in Pietermaritzburg, in KwaZulu-Natal earlier today, ending that update from our Senior Reporter Dasen Thathiah.